Good afternoon, and welcome back to PWTRN with your host, Mosey Along. And today on Lest We Forget History, we're going to talk about the new Cold War. Satellites show how America is losing a new Cold War in the Arctic. We're heading north, far north, to a part of the world most Americans never think about. But satellites do, shipping trackers do, and every major power with an eye on the future does, because the Arctic is melting, opening new sea routes, new resources, and new strategic territory. And in this new Cold War, the United States has ambitions, but only one nation is actually winning, and it ain't us. For years, Washington has floated ideas about expanding their influence in the Arctic, from new bases to expanded icebreaker fleets. At one point, there was even talk, half serious and half strategic, about buying Greenland, not for scenery, but for a position, a foothold in the Arctic Circle, a gateway to the North Atlantic, and a counterweight to Russian expansion. But ambition doesn't equal action. And when you look at the satellite imagery, the shipping lanes, and the infrastructure maps, the story becomes clear. America is present, but not prepared. Russia, meanwhile, has been building in the Arctic for decades, and satellites show it plainly. Dozens of military bases refurbished or newly constructed. Nuclear power icebreakers, the largest fleet in the world. Shipping routes along the Northern Sea route expanding every year. Deep water ports capable of supporting military and commercial needs. Radar stations and airfields positioned like chess pieces along the coast. Russia treats the Arctic as a strategic front. The United States treats it as an afterthought, and the melting ice is accelerating the gap. As the Arctic warms, new shipping lanes open for longer periods of time. Each year, cargo ships that once had to travel thousands of miles can now cut straight across the top of the world. Russia controls most of these routes and charges passage fees. Satellite data shows Russian vessels moving through the Arctic with confidence, while America's ships remain limited by a simple, embarrassing fact. The U.S. has only 2 functional icebreakers, one of which is 40 years old. Russia has more than 40. That's not competition, folks. That's imbalance. Why does this matter? Because the Arctic is becoming a new shipping highway, a new energy frontier, a new military theater, a new geopolitical pressure point. If you control the Arctic, you control the top of the world, the shortest routes between continents, their emerging resource fields, and their surveillance advantage over half the northern hemisphere. Russia knows this. China knows this. The satellites show they're acting on it. The United States, they're still talking about it. So this afternoon's reminder is simple. History doesn't always repeat with armies on borders. Sometimes it repeats with ice melting underfoot. The Arctic is the new Cold War, not fought with missiles, mind you, but with infrastructure, shipping lanes, and presence. And right now, the satellites tell a story we cannot ignore. Russia is winning the far north race. America is watching from the sidelines. Lest we forget history, it has a way of circling back even at the top of the world. So stay alert, stay tuned, stay aware, and go over to PWTRELYNEWS.kinsta, KINSTA.cloud, CLOUD, and read up what's happening. Keep yourself informed and watch from the sidelines. The last Cold War just recently ended. Y'all remember when the Berlin Wall came down? Well, there ain't no wall now, and China's not about to lose that. Have a good afternoon, and I'll see you later, Gators.